Hi friends, so today I'm going to be talking about expressions, and because this video has been giving me so much anxiety, I'm just going to wing it. So the first thing to understand is the intensity level or
Fervor.
of emotion. So the way to know if you want a low intensity emotion is how far does the face stretch. So for example, I've got like a happy face here with like pleased or whatever, versus something that's like amused, the eyes open up, and then ecstatic, the mouth opens up, and it's like it's stretched. And then for example, if we look at anger, low intensity would probably be like annoyed or bored, and then you up it, it's going to be like angry or triggered. You can see the snarl, you can see the wide eyes, the eyebrows creasing, and then you have like open mouth and like more wrinkles, more details for like furious. And then in rage, it's like very stretched out. You see how there's tension in the muscles. The muscles are being stretched across the entire face. That is the level of intensity versus something that might be like low intensity, like let's say you're jealous of someone or that you're annoyed by someone because they're overly hyper. You're going to have quiet emotions versus loud emotions. You're not going to say anything. You're not going to display a reaction. Versus something like shouting, screaming is a very outward emotion. So inward emotions, there's not very a lot of tension on the face, and it's more squeezed in. Kind of like when someone is pouting, for example, right here. You see how it's kind of squeezed in? That's an inside emotion. So it's like because someone's not getting their way or they're throwing a little tantrum, their mouth, their eyes are kind of squeezed in. Does that make sense? Or if someone's like skeptical, they're going to be kind of squinting their eyes, like it's going to be squished in, like squished into the middle where the nose is. Does that make sense? So that's the first part. Now the second part that's really important about expressions, especially manga expressions, is things called mappu. Mappu are these little things you see throughout manga. The exclamation mark is when someone's like, ah, like shocked, surprised, triggered by something, or taken back by something. When you see like the little shocked thing right there, that's the same thing. You're like, whoa, ah, ah. And then obviously people know the veins. That usually means someone is ticked off, annoyed by something, triggered by something, or bristling. And then when it comes to this, normally you see like purple or blue around the nose area. That part's kind of shaded to kind of create the same kind of shading that you would have if someone's head is down. Which is why also when it comes to sad expressions, you don't see any reflection in the eye, because when the head is down and there's no light, casting over the eyes, the light in the eyes fade away. That's why they have that. So that's one thing. The other thing is normally when you see like swirls like these, it usually means like someone's kind of like irritated, someone's kind of like dizzy, they're overwhelmed. And then when you see like these like weird blue squiggly lines, that normally means someone is like kind of cringing, someone is kind of like awkward, kind of like feels uncomfortable, they don't really know what to do. And then when there's like a ghost coming out of someone's body or their mouth, that usually means they're like super overwhelmed. Or like, let's say like their crush just came and kissed them. They're so shocked that their body leaves, or their spirit leaves their body. So another could be like someone being so exhausted that they just pass out and their spirit leaves their body because they're unconscious. So or if they're so stressed out that they basically go limp. that's another one. So then the next one is obviously question mark means being inquisitive, being confused about something. Might be like thinking about stuff. And then a light bulb obviously is like, whoa, like I've got an idea, I understand something, like, oh. And then the little huff right here can also be when a character scoffs, like they're like annoyed, or the anime like tisk. And so it can be like frustration, it can be exhaustion, sometimes it can be pity, like a sort of like stress, you don't know what to do. So it's just like a defeated, I want to say is the word. And then when it comes to this, the lines like this, that means when a character is laughing, so they're like ha 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 ha, so amused, or they're like chatting a lot, or just like chipper. Obviously hearts means like admiring something or adoring a character that's super cute or super hot. And then sparkles usually means when someone's being like, they've got their riz and they're like super sparkly. They're like, yeah, I'm so cool. Yeah, look at me. Yeah, I'm super sharp. So like being overconfident. Also can mean when someone's like really pretty too. If there is one star of this, usually it's when someone is sharp, when someone realizes something, like something just clicks. And then when someone's singing, normally when someone's like humming, singing, it means they're happy. They're kind of like skipping along and stuff. And then when someone has like these what this usually is not tears, it's like sweat, kind of like being thrown out. Someone's like sweating because they're nervous, they're confused, they're a little bit anxious or like shy. They might feel like guilty or like overwhelmed, like, I didn't mean to do that, I'm sorry. Or it's like, I didn't know that, I didn't mean to say that, I'm sorry. Like it's just like feeling overwhelmed. Social anxiety, it can be like also feeling overwhelmed because you have like a million things to do too, like a character that's like looking multiple ways, like wait, what do I start with first, like what's going on? Yeah, so confusion too. And then a teardrop coming down is another form of like sweat on the forehead. Normally this is done when a character is like feels awkward, or they feel like okay, I'm just going to pretend that did not happen, or they're surrounded by a lot of weirdos, or they're just don't really know what to do. So it's like a feeling of like cringing, but also like feeling defeated and having like a sense of resignation, if you will, about stuff. So then sometimes you can also have the sweat like more on the bottom, is like when someone is hesitating, or they feel guilty about something. So like let's say a character is asking someone to stay for their shift or something, and they're kind of like stuttering, like I'm really sorry, but can you stay for this shift? And they feel bad for asking. So it can be a mixture of guilt. And then this one right here means when someone is kind of like grumbling, someone's like irritated, but they won't say anything. It can be that they are kind of just pouting, they have to do something, and it's really annoying. Or it can just be like irritation, or around characters that they don't like, kind of like when you see the shock effect with two rival characters. And then the next one is similar to the first one, where it's like shock, like taken aback, like whoa, like but this one is more of just like noticing something. It's like a observation. Sometimes you'll see this, but it's just like 3 black lines, like someone notice someone enters a room, or they notice something that's out of place. So that takes care of the mapus. And I would highly I would highly recommend looking these up because there is a lot of them. Okay, so when it comes to expressions are just the basic expressions mixed together. So a good example would be, imagine excitement, okay? Right here. So a smile is like a form of happiness. Now, if we mix happiness with, let's say, shock, right here, you see how the eyes are wide? Now, imagine if I took the wide eyes from shock and I took the smile from happiness and I mixed them together. Now, the same could be said for something like desperation. So, desperation is a mix of shock and sadness. So, for example, you could see terror mixed with, the open mouth, wide eyes, and then a mix of sadness being that the eyebrows are up and kind of like squinted. And how with like the desperation, there's like a sort of squint that you would get underneath the eyes with anger. So, for example, this is shock plus sadness plus anger, because someone feels like they were betrayed, but also they're scared of being abandoned, but also the sadness, the fear of that loss. So it's a lot of intense emotions mixed into one. But if you're trying to make combos, like, because there's literally like thousands of different combos of emotions you can do, just try to think of two emotions that are similar to it and then try to mix them together by messing with the eyebrows, the eyes, and the mouth, and perhaps like some of the things that you can do with like some of the lines underneath the eyes and with the eyebrows. Again, your best friend is going to be those eyebrows and those eyes. There's a reason why anime eyes are as big as that. So the next part is, sometimes you'll see sparkles in people's eyes when they're really curious about something, when they're like excited, like intrigued, when they think, like, let's say they're excited, they're obsessed, they're talking about their favorite band or their favorite idol or their favorite food. They'll light up, and literally their eyes will light up. You'll often sometimes see this with like shoujo characters when they're talking about like their crush. Their eyes will like be all sparkly. It's again because like the more they literally light up. When it comes to having the creepy smile, for example, with like him smiling with the black right there, there's obviously something not right there because there's no reflection. That which is kind of uncanny. So this can be like a character that is not, which is like out of retouch or out of touch with reality. And then when it comes with the white versus like the black eyes are kind of like a sort of dark like intention, a dark desire they have on the inside, and then the white here is sort of like they've kind of blanked out, so kind of like disassociating, if you will, like there's like a glaze over their eyes with this. So it's like, yeah. So the next one is when you see characters doing this with like smiling eyes. Normally they do that because specifically when Asians smile, their eyes close very, very, like, a lot. So it's kind of like just over exaggerating happiness. So they're smiling so much that their cheeks are being pushed so high that you can't see their eyes, that they're so happy. So this is when someone's like really pleased, they're really like touched by something, and yeah. And then usually when you see a downcast eyes where it's like down like this is a feeling of feeling like relaxed, like or like feeling like cozy, if you will, like a hot bath, or it's like they have like a nice hot cocoa, or they finally get a fan and it's like really hot outside, so it's like the fan blows on them and cools them down. They'll be like, this is the best life, isn't it, man? So when you see teeth like this is more of like a playful kind of mischievous smile. Like when you see the vertical teeth like this, kind of like impish, if you will. And then when you see the teeth like horizontal like this is more of like a general cheerfulness. It's less about being playful, and more of just like happiness in general, or feeling loved, versus this one, which is more like playful and mischievous, impish. And then let's see. The other part about intensity too is with the eyes. So when based on how wide the eyes are opened is the level of energy in something. So for example, when you're really tired, you're not going to have a lot of energy. Same when you're depressed or when you're really sick, the eyes are going to be really, really closed, or if you're really tired. However, if you're shocked and you got a lot of adrenaline, a lot of stress going on, they're going to be super, super wide, and your pupils are going to be like really, really small. So just keep that in mind. So for example, emotions that have like less intensity are going to be like a lot more calmer. Like this one's much more relaxed, much more like loving and calm, versus something that's going to be like super ecstatic and like jumpy and like whoa, like out there, spread. So anyway, going on to sadness, you're going to see a lot of the black eyes, because the head is tilted downwards and the light can't reach the eyes. So the light has left the eyes of this person. They are dead on the inside. And then, I forgot. Also with happiness, put blush marks, because blush marks always you see that with like happiness. And yeah. Anyway, so obviously, if a character is looking to like aside or whatever, this usually means like uncertainty. If they're looking away, they're uncomfortable, they don't, kind of like feeling helpless. And when they're looking down, usually this is a sense of shame, if their eyes are all like open and you can see the light in their eyes. And then sometimes you'll see dark circles under characters' eyes. If you've ever watched, what was it called? Killing Stalking, whatever. They have the dark circles under their eyes, and it's supposed to be like mental illness because this character's not getting enough sleep. There's something wrong with them that's keeping them up. And so a lot of times you'll have characters that look like they've aged, so they'll have like eye bags under their eyes, or look like they're not getting enough sleep, for like very tired, worn out characters who've gone through a lot in their life. And then when we go to anger, you will also see a lot of different types of eyes. So the reason why the eyes light up, you in some mangas you can see some characters with like brown eyes or black eyes, and then it goes to like a black and white eye, like from this to like this, is because it's supposed to be piercing. Because like the small pupils create like sort of like wolf eyes, and it can be piercing to the person that they that ticked them off, that they're aggressive towards, and it creates like a feeling of intimidation. So if you want to do that with anger, that's really helpful. Another reason that you'll see characters with like the dark shadow is that it contrasts the white pupils, or not pupils, the white eye. It will contrast the white eyes and it'll make it pop out more to create like more intensity, more intimidation. Another thing is you'll often see a lot of wrinkles underneath eyes, which it creates a sort of intensity. So usually if you see a character okay, so if you usually see a character without the dark shadow above their face like this, it usually means that they're just really angry. But if you do see the dark shadow, that usually means that they're holding a grudge against someone, or a sort of hatred, compared to one that doesn't have that. This one's a lot more of a darker emotion. So the next one is fear. So with fear, you're going to see the eyes light up. Again, it draws the focus back to the eyes and creates like this piercing effect, which is the same kind of feeling that you get when you have that pit in your stomach. And obviously you're going to have a lot of sweat, you're going to be overwhelmed and stressed. Usually if you don't see a reflection in the eyes and you see a character just kind of standing there, that means they're kind of like in shock. Sometimes you'll see characters with the black eyes, but they're scared. Usually that means they're kind of like traumatized by something. Like they're so shocked that they can't move. It's like they're frozen. So then let's see. Sometimes you'll also get some characters that have that black circle over them so much that those are characters that are going to probably destroy whoever ticked them off. They're about to go off on someone. They're so angry that they become very cold. I honestly feel that if you want to learn how to do expressions, the best way is using your own face. It's kind of embarrassing, but I tend to use a mirror or use my phone to do selfies sometimes to get the right face for some expressions. Sometimes I just make faces when I'm drawing and it helps a lot. Like being able, like when, let's say I'm drawing an intense feeling of a character being mad or something. I, in real life, am going to scrunch up my face. I'm going to open my mouth and say nothing. I'm going to scrunch my eyes, and I'm going to keep erasing the eyebrows if they're not close enough. I'm going to erase the eyes if they're not like open wide enough to create that intense, like open-eyed, like, you know, screaming like feeling. Or if I need to like close the jaw a little bit more, I'm going to erase it and then draw it, erase it, draw it. But it really does come down to feeling your own face, like literally, like the muscles in it, and like whatever muscle feels heavy. So like if I crease my eyebrows right now, and my character that I'm drawing, their face is not reflecting the same intensity as me creasing my eyebrows right now, then that means that I need to give that character I'm drawing, their eyebrows need to be closer together and have more lines, if that makes sense. If I am trying to create a character that has just been who just realizes they've fallen in love with a character, I'm going to try to feel that emotion and feel that in my face. So I'm going to try to smile. If the smile is too big and it's not relaxed enough, I'm going to make the character's face that I'm drawing a lot more subtle, and I'm going to keep like messing with my facial expressions until I plant it into the drawing itself. So like I said, I wish there was more that I could explain besides, you know, taking combos of basic emotions and mixing them together and, you know, reflecting on your own emotions and what you're trying to convey. But yeah, I will leave a description in the description, a link in the description below of my little cheat sheet that I made quite a while back, and yeah, you guys are free to use it however you guys like. Alright, you guys have a good one. Bye!